Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Ariel and Eric set from the live action Little Mermaid by Mattel, so let's go! And before we start, I'm Chaymie and I like to make toy videos here on my channel, so make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell if you would like to stay tuned for more toy video content. And here they are. So for their packaging, they actually feature a unique packaging different from all the other playline dolls from the collection. It's the classic old school kind of Barbie packaging where you slide the tray out of the box. It features a nice big window display on the front, and on the back you got a promo picture of Ariel and Eric in a little shell-shaped box. And yes, Scuttle is also there. You can open the box either from the top or the bottom. Alright, now it's time to take them out of the box. I love these slide out boxes so much because it allows you to take the dolls out of the box without technically ruining the packaging, so to speak. Because sometimes you want to keep the doll in the box, but there's also like some little tweaks that you want to do to the doll, maybe their head positioning, or the hair may be messy, or something else, you know. So with these kind of boxes, you're allowed to take them out, do your fixes, and put them back in, and you know, they're good. Now I got my trusty cut paw scissor, and let's do a whole lot of snipping. So I think this set is exclusive to Target in the States, but for the rest of the world, I think it's a general kind of release because I got mine from Amazon Singapore, and when I visited Bangkok to see the Little Mermaid movie, I also saw them in just like Toys R Us, malls, and everywhere else as well. And here they are out of the box, and oh, they're just so adorable together. So let's do a 360 first before we get into the details. Let's start off with Eric. Starting off with his head, so he is featured in his brand new face sculpt, sculpted in the likeness of Jonah. I do think it has a pretty nice likeness to him. I really love the dimples because his dimples were so cute in the movie, so I'm glad they featured it on the doll. The profile is nice, but unfortunately he is featured with sculpted hair, but the hair actually is sculpted quite nicely. At least it has some depth into it with these kind of like curly locks details going on. So for his face paint, it's not the nicest paint job. I'm not sure if it's just my doll, especially on the eyes. It looks a little bit messy and a little pixelated. But I am glad that he is featured in this style of neck pegs because usually for male dolls, Disney Store does it too, they always feature that kind of like flat joint where they can only turn from left to right. So I'm glad that at least he is featured in this ball jointed neck joint, I suppose, where he can, you know, tilt and do all of that stuff, and it makes it easier for him to rebody onto a made to move can as well. Now, moving on to his outfit, so first up he is featured in this dark blue vest, I suppose. It's not a jacket, I don't think, because it does not have sleeves. It has these printed buttons, as well as printed buttonholes, and also some printed pocket details. And I never noticed this in the film, and mind you, I watched it 4 times, but his jacket or vest is actually two-toned in color, where the back is gray, or in the movie it was kind of like a paler shade of blue. So I think it's really neat that they executed it on the doll too. And I was very pleasantly surprised when I found out that his clothing is 2 separate pieces and not just stitched together, so thank God. So underneath he has a simple white shirt that attaches with Velcro on the back. For the sleeves, you cannot roll them down because it's already stitched in that rolled up position. For his pants, though unfortunately sculpted, it does feature some nice details in there, like the slit on the back, the buttons on the front, the little pockets, and also more buttons near the end. And it does have some little bit of texture in it to simulate the cloth, so at least it's not a smooth plastic. Finally, we got his nice leather boots, and they're nice and shiny, and again, I'm pleasantly surprised that they're removable and not sculpted together with the feet. And the boots themselves are also nicely sculpted. I love that the leather part is actually shiny and that the cuffs on the top are matte. For articulation, he moves at the neck, the shoulders, and at the hips. Alright, now let's move on to Little Miss Human. For her face and hair, it's essentially the same as any other Halle doll done by Mattel, in this beautiful sculpt, the beautiful face paint, and I do think the shimmery effect is more prominent on this doll. The hair is also pretty much the same. Once you remove the headband, you can see that it's rooted the way with the other dolls, where all the locks are in the pear line in the middle, and the rest is all loose hair. The headband is sculpted, but it has some texture in it to mimic those kind of checkered patterns in the movie. Moving on to her dress, so she is featured in her blue dress, so it features lace ruffles near the neckline, although the main ruffled or textured fabric throughout her dress is now printed. But I have to say the graphic design does do a very nice job of portraying that illusion of depth between the ruffles with the highlights and the lowlights. She also got her puffy sleeves. And my favorite part of this doll is actually the corset, because it's the only fashion doll out there in the blue dress that actually features the pink details from the corset from the movie. So I think that's really neat. Even though it's printed, I do appreciate the little details in there. Then we also get the rest of her skirt, again featuring the printed details to mimic the ruffles and the textures from the dress. And finally, we got her adorable pink boots. So the boots, I love them so much. They're sculpted very nicely. They're quite accurate, even the little shell there, the lace detail. Overall, pretty cool boots, and I think I'm gonna sacrifice one of these pairs to my Vanessa. For her accessories, first up, she has this little bag. So I do think this bag is just based on the bag that she uses as a mermaid under the water, because she actually does not have any bags when she's on land. But I am still appreciative for the addition, because this is the only bag in the 12-inch scale for the fashion doll, so you can just use it for the mermaid one and it'll be a nice little accessory for her as well. It's sculpted very nicely with all these little lines mimicking the seaweed probably that she's made it out with. There are some braided details on the side, as well as knotted details on the straps and little tassels at the bottom. Plus it has a little place for you to put some things inside. And she also comes with her little jade mermaid, so that is so cool as well. It's actually very accurate to the movie, and for a really tiny object, it's sculpted nicely with a lot of details, more than I expected. You can almost make out the individual scales on the tail, and also even her facial feature, so that's pretty neat. For articulation, she moves at the neck, the shoulders, and also at the hips, and she is on a petite Disney princess tippy-toe body. So for my overall thoughts, I do think this is a really nice set. For $30 you get a decent playline doll set with true dolls, so that's pretty cool. I like the corset details, I like the inclusion of the bag and the little jade mermaid, but I do have to say I'm quite disappointed with the sculpted pants on Prince Eric. I don't know, I think they could have done fabric pants that it could have just been the plainest, cheapest fabric, but still the idea of having actual fabric trousers or pants on a doll for Eric would be really cool, considering this is the only Eric doll that we're getting for the 12-inch fashion doll scale, so I think they could have done fabric pants for him. So to give you a little bit of a perspective, let me bring in my Peter Pan and Wendy doll set, also from Mattel. So Peter Pan and Wendy retails for $37 and Ariel and Eric retails for $30. So it makes you wonder, is $7 the difference between sculpted outfits and fabric outfits? Peter Pan and Wendy features completely fabric outfits, although all the details are printed, which is mostly the same for Ariel and Eric as well. Their sculpted accessories include Wendy's necklace, Peter Pan's cap, his sword, belt, and of course both their shoes. And on top of all of that, Peter Pan and Wendy are also fully articulated. So what I'm saying is that if they have made Ariel and Eric feature all fabric outfits with printed details and fully articulated bodies and sell them for $37, I would not have minded. I would still happily get them. But at the end of the day, to be fair to Mattel, maybe it was a deliberate decision to keep the dolls retailing at $30 with lesser details so that maybe more parents will buy it for their kids and make them more affordable, Because at the end of the day, there are playline dolls directed for play, so I suppose it kind of makes sense in that direction to keep them more affordable. So, other than the sculpted pants and the lack of articulation, I really don't have anything negative to say about this doll set. It is still a pretty cool set to have for $30, and it's still a recommended purchase for me because you're still getting Eric, the only Eric to get in this scale, and also the inclusion of the little jade mermaid as well as the bag that you can also use for your other mermaid Ariel dolls. So that is it for my review on the Ariel and Eric doll set. So what are your thoughts? What do you think about them? Do you agree with what I've said? Or do you disagree? Sound off in the comments below. You can also check me out on Instagram at Chaymie Creates for all my toy photography featuring the Little Mermaid dolls and more. If you enjoyed the video, please like, thumbs up, subscribe, and share. It'll really help out my channel. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all soon in my next video. Bye!